Hey guys, welcome back to Home Theater Gurus. So today we've got something really cool from XGIMI. This is the Titan Noir Max. Now Noir means black, it's French for black. We've got a dual iris system. We also have some features in the menu we can turn on to also increase the blacks. Now we're going to be doing a head-to-head test against the Valerion Max in this video. As far as the black levels go, the sharpness, the brightness, spec-wise, this thing here is 7,000 lumen projector, so it's extremely bright. We're going to make sure I know like the Max 20 from XGIMI, whenever you would turn up the highest 7,000 lumen mode, it would kind of screw the colors up, so I really didn't like it. It wasn't really usable. We're going to see how it is in this projector here and how it handles that high brightness and if the colors remain accurate. But overall, I was blown away by the 20 Max from XGIMI. All right, but enough about that. Let's go ahead and get this thing unboxed and then we're going to start testing. Now, of course, the first thing you're going to notice is this thing is boxed like it's got some kind of secret codes for nuclear warheads or something. I mean, this thing is like a leather case, very, very sturdy. I mean, it's very well packaged. Let's go ahead and bust it open. And so this, again, very, very nice packaging. All right, now this box is actually, heck, almost as heavy as a projector. Again, very, very solid. Looks like there's some accessories down there. Okay, so that comes out. And in the bottom of it, you've got your accessories. Go ahead and put that back in. Man, this is not a box I'm gonna wanna throw away. I swear you could put your family heirlooms in there. All right, now this is an extremely cool looking projector. This is plastic. And this is metal. This is all metal, these legs. Okay, now these are adjustable. So if you're setting it up on the table, you need to adjust your height. Now we do have lens shift with this thing. We've got 130% vertical and 50% horizontal. So placement is going to be very, very easy with this projector, and we don't have to rely on keystone that distorts the image. So that's really nice. Now on the back here, we've got our DC input. That's our power. We have an optical input. We have 2 USBs, 3 HDMIs, with one of them being eARC. We've got an audio, a LAN input, and power. Let's go ahead and open up our accessories. So we've got our little book. Here we have our power cube or our transformer, our power cord, 2 batteries for the remote. So the remote looks like the same one that was in the 20 Max from XGIMI. That's a good thing. Let me go ahead and slap the batteries in it and we'll check it out. But as you can see, we do have some pre-lit buttons. So not everything lights up, but enough to where it is usable in the dark. But yeah, it's a nice slick looking remote. Hey guys, welcome back. So it's been about a week with the Titan Noir Max. Of course, just like the Max 20, it has an excellent picture, but with the help of the iris, we have much, much better blacks than the Max 20. The Max 20 had no issues. I mean, the picture on that was really incredible, much sharper, just like the Valerion Max that we're gonna be looking, comparing the dark levels between these two projectors here. They all have a much sharper picture than something like, say, the JVC NZ8 that I had before. Now, the black levels, if you guys remember the video I did with the Valerion Max, the black levels were very close to the NZ8, that JVC, but it was much sharper. The Valerion was much sharper than the JVC. Not even close, different ballpark. You'd have to have an outboard processor on that JVC to compete with the Valerion. The XGIMI is the same way. The XGIMI has that detail, that processing. They're using AI to process a signal. Fantastic job, extremely sharp. But this XGIMI here, it brings a lot of brightness. Now there's different selections you can use for your video, like ISF night, standard, movie, sports, filmmaker mode, ISF day, performance, and a custom. Now I've been using it in ISF night because I have a dedicated room here. There's no windows or anything like that. And I've been getting, to my eyes, a very, very accurate picture. Now what you're gonna see when I'm comparing these side by side, and it's some of the same shots I used in my previous videos, just realize the picture is gonna look a little pinkish. It is not like that in real life at all. The pictures are very accurate to the eye. They look fantastic. Just the way my camera picks up or videos these RGB lasers, just pay attention to the detail in the different side-by-sides and the amount of depth in the dark scenes and things like that. Now there is an RBE or rainbow effect option. When I would turn this on, it would add like a grainy picture. With it off, the picture is extremely smooth, so I didn't turn that on just because the picture didn't look right. Didn't really see any RGB or rainbow effect. That was an issue. I saw it every once in a while, but it was not a big deal. Definitely nothing that would keep me from owning this projector and having it as my primary projector. All right, so here we have our first side-by-side with the Noir Max on the left, the Valerion Max on the right. Now here we just want to look at detail. Both of these have the iris all the way down into the darkest setting. So the Valerion is on 6, and we have an f7 for the Noir or the XGIMI. Now you'll notice that the checker pattern or the little pattern on his right knee that's on the ground, that's usually what I'll look at without any type of processing. That's a little soft. Both of these are doing a great job. The Valerion Max in bright scenes sometimes does do a little bit better, has a slightly sharper, but I mean, you've got to side-by-side it to see. But we do have better shading with Noir Max. You see where his cuff, the bottom side of his cuff, the colors are much more visible on the Max, and the underside of his knee has more detail and more color. Now this is because of the brightness that it has so much more light. This is a light Canon, so those dark areas, you do see more color, but the processing in dark scenes is phenomenal with the Noir Max. The Valerion Max is great. I mean, it has a much sharper picture than my JVC NZ8 did. In the dark scenes, it didn't do quite as well. Then the Noir Max, I think it made best that JVC. I don't have it here anymore, but we're gonna see in a minute. It is so good in some of the dark scenes. It is phenomenal. Now, speaking of brightness, I just want to show you guys. Now this is, I shot this later after I did the side-by-side, but you'll see right here, just pay attention to the brightness. I did not change any settings on my camera. Everything was set to manual. So going from an f7, where we have the best blacks, and then to an f2. Now remember, I didn't change any camera settings, so what you're seeing here looks all washed out and way too bright and everything's clipping. That is not what it's like in real life. It looks like you're looking outside. It's so bright. It's an amazing picture. I didn't want to change the camera settings because I wanted to kind of give you guys a feel of how much brighter it is. Now when it's in f7, its darkest iris setting, it is still very bright. It's just when you put that in F2 or dynamic mode also uses all of that light and works fantastic as well, but it is so bright. It is just, it's amazing. And it's like you're seeing something that most projectors can't achieve, and it really is fantastic. All right, now this is one I really like to do to show off black levels and the detail that we get in those scenes. And you'll notice right here, the Valerion on the right looks great. We're getting a lot of detail in this scene. But if you look at the Noir Max, there's so much more color. Now this one is pretty accurate. This one filmed very well, kind of like how I see it with my eye. It's just more 3D-like, more color depth and better shading with the Noir Max, much more realistic. All of that light that we've got to play with is just really showing through in this picture right here because we've got so much color and depth in it. Now both of these are with the irises in their most closed down settings. So I was looking at black levels. The black levels are so close. The Valerion may be slightly darker. You know, in the letterboxed area, I had a shadow of my camera in it. It was so dang hard to tell. They are so close, but the color depth of the Noir Max is just, it is what it is. Now for the iris, we have a dynamic mode, and honestly, that's where I leave it because the blacks aren't quite as deep. Like, I mean, side by side, you can kind of see it's not quite like the letterbox on the top and bottom. If I'm watching scope on the screen, it's slightly lighter, but the blacks are still extremely good. but it does so well. Dynamic iris on this thing works extremely well, so I just left it on dynamic iris with general viewing. Hey guys, that's gonna be it for this one. If you're looking at buying this projector, you'll see in the description there's a link. You can get a special Kickstarter rate. It's currently at $2,800 for the Kickstarter price. Now eventually it's gonna go back up to the regular price of $6,000. All right guys, that's gonna be it for this one. I'll see y'all for the next one.